Go.
Hey, welcome to our extrakTALKS today, Dr. Jon.
Hey,
You're awesome.
hey, how you doing?
We got things going today. Today, we're going to be talking about how to pitch your plan, which is good. Welcome. Thank you for being here. Enable pop-ups so you can talk to the bot. And in the bot, we've got our whole team behind that.
Yeah, we do.
So, that's the chat bot is in the bottom, but we've got a whole team ready to answer your questions. So
Also on our live, we are also doing this live. So chat on the live, right? Yeah.
absolutely. We got it.
Comment away. Subscribe.
We got it. We got this. If your screen gets frozen, go ahead and push the button to unfreeze. It's just the reconnect button. It does not take you out. It just pops you up and just refreshes, and it's great. No holds barred. There might be some polls. I don't know if we have any polls on this one. I'm looking at
No
the
polls.
technical team. No polls.
No polls.
No polls. Wow. Where am I going to get my singles? Okay, so thank you for being here. Again, questions. Check out our resources, live tours, CBD jam sessions, extraction guides, distillation guides, calculator libraries, mini course libraries. Those are getting filled, ramped up. You guys are doing awesome, by the way. Thank you. Oh, and Steve Edelstein from Danilo, Florida. He has won an Extract Lab swag bag.
Sweet.
Including a t-shirt and some other goodies.
All right.
He was picked for by our bot, actually.
Really?
Yeah. Who knew?
He's smart.
He is smart.
Okay.
Smart. You did stump him, though.
I did.
It was pretty funny.
We should show.
Yeah, Dr. Jon stumped our bot.
Show. Yeah.
Anyway, he engaged with the bot and on the website, and it was great. So he arbitrarily won. Congratulations.
Great.
So today we're going to be talking about CBD business opportunities, your CBD business, CBD franchising, white labeling, marketing, how to become a CBD oil distributor, business plan, business journal, farm business plan, commercial cultivation business plan, lots of business plan stuff today.
Hemp business plan.
Hemp.
Yeah.
Hemp, CBD,
Yeah,
everything.
right.
How do you get in business? What is that all about? How do you make your pitch to friends and family, to small offices, to a bank, to investors predominantly? You've got people that are ready to invest and money's opening up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh my gosh, things are moving.
Yep.
So thank you for being here. I know that you have a presentation.
We do. No tables though this time.
No tables.
No tables.
Aren't we disappointed? I think we're disappointed. All right. So should we just jump right in?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's go.
We're going to be talking
Thank
about
you for being
pitching,
here.
guys.
Pitching.
Pitching is basically you're standing in front of a bunch of people who are assessing you whether or not they're going to give you some cash.
Correct.
Their hard-earned cash.
Yep.
Think about cash is nothing more than congealed life. So what they're actually doing is they're giving you a part of their life when they give you the cash. Okay.
That's exactly.
And this is if the guy who is or the gal who is investing in you, they're doing that because they believe in you. They believe in what you've said. You've answered all their objections. Okay. And you've kind of tailored a plan. So, this is really what we're going to be talking about today. So here's the top 5 plan pitching tips for you.
Love it.
Randy, you've been giving pitches for forever.
Yep.
I've given tremendous number of pitches also. Some of them successful, some of them not successful.
Helped a lot of businesses pitch their plans to sell their business, to raise cash, to go to the bank, everything. I mean, this is important.
Yeah.
And knowing your audience is your number one tip here. And that is so key. One of the things that you have to remember is most people go into a pitch thinking, okay, well, these guys have money. I want their money.
Right.
Okay. That's not the way you got to go into it like that. You've got to say, okay, every person on the other side of that desk has lost money.
Yes.
Okay. Have you lost money in business ventures?
And
I have lost money in business ventures.
And they have fear.
Oh my gosh. So you have to be making sure you're talking to people about somebody who has lost money, hundreds of thousands, if not millions and millions of dollars in other pitches.
Right.
So they're very skeptical. Know your audience.
Right. Know your audience. Tailor your message.
Tailor it.
A lot of times what happens is if you're working with a broker or you're working with a friend of a friend, they'll already have some sort of pre-pitch that they've been given. Hey, are you interested? Are you interested? Yes, I'm interested. Yeah. Okay. Then they want to hear more. Okay. So that's usually where you get them in the pitch. And really the more that you know about what that audience has. You can tailor your message to them. Like, for example, if you have an investor group that come in and they're a bunch of ex-operational guys, right?
Mhm.
This is a very common PE model, actually, and they know how to run companies. Well, you can basically you can speak to the fact that, hey, here are my gaps that I think I could deal with, but here's what we know, and they want to be able to help you if they're going to invest in you.
Absolutely.
So you need to give them an in for that, right?
Yes.
Okay. Keep it short. Would be the
Keep it very short.
yeah. You don't need to go long.
When you're talking to people, keep it. Most people want to tell you the whole dream. Don't.
Oh, yeah.
Keep it. 3 is almost too many. You want one direction, but 3 things. And the best rule of thumb is 10 slides, 20 minutes, 30-point font size. And that comes from Guy Kiyosaki, The Art of the Start.
Okay.
Good book.
Now, that's good. That is a good. That is good. I usually do about a minute to a minute and a half per slide.
Mhm.
If you want to keep it right around 20 minutes, you need about 15 to 20 slides approximately. So that's my and I usually fill it up with some data because you pre-answer those questions. You don't want to spend a lot of time answering like basic questions. You want to have enough information density in your pitch so that they're not sitting there asking all the basics. You want to get them to the point where they're asking questions about you.
That's right.
The questions about what your dreams are. That's the stuff where the pitches are made.
No question about it. Answer the why. I mean,
Absolutely.
That's really what you have to do. Get to the why. And it really goes back to, why should I care?
Why should I care? Why should I invest? Why should I? And why are you here in the first place?
That's right.
Right. And what are your promises? Why do customers care about you at all?
Yeah.
Right.
At the end of every statement you make, ask, so what?
Okay. So what?
So what?
So what?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what?
So that's what they're saying. Okay. So you're better than everybody. So what? Why? How?
Right.
Prove it.
Know your numbers.
Know your numbers. Oh my God.
How many people they spend all their time going in front, they get their presentation, they get their suit, it's all set up, they get the presentation, it's looking really good. Yeah. And the guy asks them, okay, so what's your cash flow in the first 3 months? What's your, what's your EBIT? How much depreciation is in there? How is it possible that you do not know the basics of your numbers? You got to know them stone cold.
Absolutely.
That's where stone cold killers had come from.
Yeah.
They know their numbers.
So they just know it. You gotta have it right there. Okay.
So we're going to answer the why. Okay. And really what this is just a kind of an assessment. You got to kind of do an assessment. Okay. Why are you here? It's called core values, right?
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, and core values are not like, peace and love and joy and everything, but why are you here? What really drives you?
Yeah.
Okay. And that is, are you the drive for excellence? Is that why you're here? Is that because you want to make the most? Is it because you want to build something, or is it just because you want to get cash? Okay. All of those things have a story to them, and you need to be able to distill those down into 2 or 3 statements that really says, hey, here's what we are all about.
That's right.
And you need to define that with your team, with your people, all that stuff. You need to agree on it. Now, here's what happens. You will find that you'll distill this, set of values out, and you'll write them down. And one of the persons or 2 of the people in your group, they might not actually agree with that. You have just upgraded your team.
Yeah.
Because if they're not in on that vision, you got to get people who are in on those core values.
You have to be on the same page. It's okay to disagree on the minors, but the majors, you got to know. And the why is the big major.
Yeah.
You really have to be all marching in the same direction.
If you can distill and articulate that in 1 or 2 sentences for your customer or for your investor, you've got it. You need it for your customer and your investor because you're pitching to both of them.
Yeah, because you're building a brand.
Right.
What is that brand and what does it represent for your customers, for your investors, for your company?
Right.
And for the future.
Right. What if you went to your investor and you said, hey, I'm going to make a farm, and then I'm going to do processing, and then I'm going to do a dispensary, and then I'm going to make dispensary brands. I'm going to go all over the United States with that. What would they say?
Next.
You got like 5 or 6 businesses there.
Yeah.
They're all different business models. So you got to have a product and market focus.
Even if you're going to head in that direction in the future, it's okay.
Yeah.
But don't talk about it.
Don't tell them.
Don't tell them.
Don't tell them.
Focus on the one, succeed there, and then move forward.
Yeah. You cannot say, hey, we're going to have a product. or market approach, the shotgun approach, no one wants to invest in that.
No, rifle.
Okay, so you need to be pitching one thing.
What is your product market focus?
Right.
Absolute focus is key, critical, and what's unique.
Yeah, can you distill it?
Yeah.
Can you tell them the one thing that makes you different about everybody else? Can you tell them the two things? Okay, if you can't do that, you need to get together with your executive team or maybe just with your set of entrepreneurs. You have to really distill what is unique. You need to write it down.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yep.
Okay,
absolutely.
This is really, if you can get these basic, I think this is actually probably the most important of all the things that you can do to prepare for your pitch, because if you don't know these fundamentals, the ontological items, what does living really mean? That for the company, okay, that it has its own life. So, and then why will you win and what's your brand promise? So, and then the key needs of the investor group and how do you fit? Okay, those are all other answers that you need to think about. But
what are you solving? I mean, that's what, you answer those questions. And it's what are you solving for your clients?
Right. So let's on that thing about the investors again, that what are the key needs of your investor group? We touched on that in the previous slide.
We did.
But it is really important. You would pitch friends and family
very differently.
Yes.
You're going to pitch a bank differently than you're going to pitch an investor group. And there are different investor groups too. There's venture capitalists, there's angel investors, there's regular individual investors, there's family offices.
Right.
I mean, and those are all key people. But most of you are going to be talking to individuals,
right?
Wealthy individuals who are going to invest or not. And
ultimately, they want to know, can I believe in you? And if you have these whys answered, then they're going to be much more confident in your ability.
Absolutely. And friends and family, you want to make sure they believe in you and your team, because what does it say? A prophet is not a prophet in his own country.
That's right. That's correct.
So the skepticism, even though they want you to succeed and they want to help you, oftentimes there's an increased reticence that they're not saying or voicing. So make sure you know what you're doing and that you've got a team behind you that can help you fulfill that and not let them lose money.
And it all comes down to, once you answer those whys, you're able to make promises based on them.
Bingo.
Because you have the whys already discussed. You know what your core values are. Your team is aligned behind those core values.
Yep.
You know what's unique about your company. If you know those things, then you can really create a brand promise.
Yes.
Or a pledge. That's a lot of people just talk about that. Are you going to pledge quality to your customers? Are you going to pledge
best price?
Best price.
Different.
Totally different. Totally different. It'll drive all of how you operate your business. What that pledge is, it's going to drive everything.
Absolutely.
And all your money decisions and everything. So that you got to get that set up. So
where are you going?
Where are you going?
What do you look like in 3, 5, 10 years? And most investors know you're lying after you get past 3 years.
But they want to hear it. Okay.
Except you.
Well, yeah, I have some pretty good experience.
I've got really good experience. I'm like, wow.
So sometimes what's really great about this, those of you who are younger, or in your 30s and you're starting to pitch, you'll go back and look at your pitches that you made in your 30s, and you'll be, oh wow, I said that. I hit it right on the money.
That's
or
right.
Boy, that was way off. You know? So something but this is your opportunity to cast the vision.
Yes.
Okay. Because it's not so much that they're going to believe that you're going to be there. Okay. We're going to be a $7 billion company in the next 10 years. Okay. Well, at least you got a vision for that. Cause that's a lot different than, hey, I want to be a mom and pop shop with a local, local establishment. One would take you on the path of, partnerships, probably acquisitions, and then a public offering.
But
that would be a lot different.
There has to be a plan behind where are you going, not here's where I want to go. If it's just a statement, it's a dream, and they will not invest in that. If it's a plan, this is where we're going, and here's how we're going to get here. It's not going from A to M. It's going A, B, C, D, E, F, every single step. And you're showing them how you're getting there over that period of time. Right. That plan is vital. And which team members do you need, even the ones you don't have yet, that you need to fulfill?
That really is your business plan.
Yeah.
And, you start off with a model. I'll get into that in just a little bit here. But, usually I do like a 5-year typical projection on
that's
that.
typical.
So, and that's really where you're saying, okay, here's my model. Here is how, here's my customer acquisition model. Here's my product models. Here's my average selling price. Here's my cost of goods. Here's the overhead that I'm going to need. Here's the depreciation that needs to be added to that with capital expense, giving up these particular income statement, cash flow statement, and balance sheet. So those are the things that you need to really think about. Okay, and how are you going to manage along the way? I really think it is important to really expose that. Hey, look, here are my top metrics. Okay, because anybody can put out a pie in the sky dream, but if you can articulate in a matter of 2 sentences what your process is for understanding which metrics you're going to be using on a quarterly basis, that's what they want to hear.
Absolutely.
They want to hear, okay, well, look, he's got some key metrics that he's, and here are his core processes. Here's his key metrics that he's, using to measure his core processes. And he has a mechanism to reevaluate that. That can be a 2 or 3 sentence difference between an investment and not an investment.
Huge, because you need to not just push out a revenue, but how are you going to build that revenue and support that revenue?
Right.
And that's the business model and the operations behind it.
Right.
Everything.
I'm going to give you $2 million. What's your 1-year plan?
Yeah.
Where is it? Where are you going to spend?
Need a 1-year plan.
You got to have the money.
Got to have it.
Okay.
Quick.
So answer how much?
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Okay. And that is not just pulling it out your ass. You've got to make sure that you're building the dollars and forecast from the bottom up.
Yes.
Right? Don't say, oh, this is what I think I want.
Right.
No, you got to know exactly how much you're going to need, how much working capital you need as well. But, define your capital spend and your facility spend, everything.
Yeah. So here's what I like to do. I like to define every one of my products that I'm going to make.
Yep.
Okay. I'll put average selling prices and I will model those out over time. And then I add the COGS in, and that gives me my revenue model.
Yep.
And then once I have that revenue model, then I can add the overhead that's required to meet that. Yep. And the capital that's required to meet that. So that's basically my process.
And I think that that's good. And that applies to, if you're a farmer, grower, you need to know what are your genetics? What is that going to produce? How much are you going to get per acre? Everything. How much are you going to get per plant? I mean, that's from the bottom up. When you're a processor, you need to know, all right, how much biomass do I want to process up to per day during season and out of season?
Right.
How much are we doing, and what are we going to produce with that? Are we going all the way to crude oil? Are we going to distillate, full spectrum? Are we going to isolate? Are we going to full spectrum? Or broad spectrum distillate? What are we doing?
Right.
And those are your business models right there.
Yeah, right. So your income statement, your cash flow statement, and your balance sheet should be handed out to your investors when you're talking to them,
including all of your products.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. You're not selling vapor.
No, that's right.
Right. So, calculate your cash flow and then know your numbers cold, because they're going to be going over them.
And talk about your assumptions, because we all make assumptions in these, right? I know we skipped through that, but that's a key thing. And that's just a list of things that you assume.
Yeah. So what we're not talking about is a long drawn out, I assume this and this number. I'm just saying, keep it down to a couple bullet points, and it's just so that enough to have someone ask a question about it or something along those lines.
This is how much my plant will produce per plant. This is how much market price is for full spectrum distillate today.
Right. Exactly.
Those are the assumptions. Okay.
Answer the who.
Who?
Okay. Number one thing, and I underline it: execution. That's it. Once you have the plan, you must have people who can execute on it.
Yes. Your team is vital.
What that is effectiveness. How effective are they? When they get into the meetings, is everybody come out of that with no clear picture of what they're supposed to be doing? Okay. That is not an effective person.
Not at all.
Okay, because what's going to happen is there's going to chaos, meeting chaos. Okay, forget that. You have to have someone who's going to execute. Okay,
absolutely.
And those are in order to get that business plan. They're probably they're not your long-term managers. Maybe
Right.
You know, because they're going to be pushing all the levers to get it done on
An
the
investor
day it needs to get
looks at
done.
you as the oversight mechanism for the executors. Those who are
Right.
really executing, you're providing that oversight. You're going to
Yeah.
be executing on some things, but you need to assign responsibility
Yeah.
and all of those core processes to your key individuals and get
Right.
the right people around you.
Right. You got to align your values with those people. If you're saying that, okay, execution is number one, you know, value of our company. We execute. That could be a value.
Yeah.
Right.
Huge value.
And really what that means is speed to excellence. Okay. So we speed to excellence. So we need the top quality product in half the time when everybody else can do it. That's an effective person. Okay.
Very.
So that's not to denigrate middle management, but we're just talking about the opposite of middle management, right?
That's right.
Essentially.
Yep.
You know, the middle management has its own benefits and virtues that are a little bit different. But what we're talking about here is people who kick ass, take names, and get it done.
They get it done,
and you need that in a startup.
And throughout the organization, middle management included, they have to execute to that that direction.
I have great doubts in middle management ever doing this. I mean, being super executors and being super effective.
But that takes real effective leadership to make sure you get there. So, I mean, that's a whole different topic. Avoid pitfalls.
Pitfalls, yeah. I mean, you know, if you have an hour long with investors, you don't sit there and talk, you know, an hour.
No, 20 minutes. You keep it. You want to leave your audience wanting more.
And then shut up.
Then shut up and let them ask questions.
Yeah. 30 minutes for discussion minimum. Yeah. If you're talking all the time, you haven't done. That's other thing. A lot of people go into pitches and they don't practice. I've done it. Yeah.
It's bad. You need to practice.
Yeah. You have to practice. You have to practice in front of other people. You have to practice and you have to hone it down. Yeah. Okay. If you say, okay, I got 20 minutes, I got 20 slides, I'm going to get them done in 20 minutes. And it's going to be a problem. And then you're sitting there 45 minutes later because you've gone on some discussion on something.
Rabbit
trails all over the place. I mean, they're going to see that.
It and stick to the slides. That's why you have slides, to keep you on track more than anything. And that's why you want to keep them simple,
right?
Keep it truncated, practice and review your plan. Okay. Right. And have it reviewed by other people and experts.
If you're not a financial guy, you should have it reviewed by a financial guy.
Yes.
If your balance sheet doesn't balance, don't put it in front of
I've built 200 deep spreadsheets, worksheets, everything. And on, worksheet 18 needs to match 102.
Yeah. That's
and needs to match number 1. And if it doesn't, you're done. You've just voided this investor.
Yeah. So they're always going to ask you where your plug is.
They do.
Okay, so anybody who's been involved in building spreadsheets like that, you're going to have a plug. So you should have a good, clean answer for that. You tell them what the plug is, okay? So we have a little sheet here for you.
Well, that is a little.
This is basically just a one pager, okay? It's kind of an organizer for your pitch, okay? And you can download it on our website. Basically you get your company name on top, who you are, that's the core values. Mm-hmm. What's your focus? Okay. You got to have one thing in there. What your niche is. Okay. What's your 10-year target? Usually that is a financial goal.
Yep.
Okay. Like I want to be a $5 million company in 2 continents. Okay.
Perfect.
Europe and whatever. Yep. Europe and in the US. Your marketing strategy, what your target market is, what your uniques are, what it is that you are unique. Sure. And then you got to really distill why you win. Okay. Yes. On the picture, the 3-year pictures, that's your vision. Okay. You can cast that vision. You could say, describe it in a picture. What does it look like? Well, we're in a 50,000 square foot building. Our parking lot's filled up. Cast that vision.
We have 30 employees.
Yes.
We have 50 employees.
You have to be able to give them a picture of what it's going to look like.
People remember stories and pictures.
Right.
Tell them.
So tell them what the future date is, talk about what your revenue figure looks like, what your profit figure looks like, and then just a very simple checklist. Okay, you have to have a 1-minute elevator pitch.
Yep.
You have to have a 1-pager.
Yep.
That's called an executive summary.
Yep.
Okay. You have to have a business plan, which is your spreadsheet with the reports that come out of that.
Everything.
Okay. Yep. And you can narrate this spreadsheet into a long document, or you can just, hey, here's the income statement, balance sheet, and then.
And the way I've always done that is have the executive summary, and then you have your team.
Yep.
And then you have a business, in the executive summary, it tells who your business is. Then you have your financials.
Yeah.
And then I have supporting documentation.
Yeah. There's called the management discussion of the financials. That's where you're going through all the assumptions in your financials.
Well, even the supporting documentation are articles, case studies, outside information, why this industry is something somebody would want to invest in and are investing in anyway.
Right. And the 3 practice sessions.
Yeah.
So go get your team together, practice. If you're not practicing, just don't go in front of investors. It's just not, maybe you just need to postpone it.
Yep.
I know that it's
and if you've done this forever and you've got experience, even, 10,000 hours makes you an expert. You can wing some things because that happens on occasion.
Right.
But even those experts know, we know, we have to practice.
Yeah, you have to practice. So you want to get it so that you have hard-hitting statements in each of the slides. And so you want to be able to distill them.
Yes.
And so, one of the things that is quite helpful is these days, transcripts are quite inexpensive. So you might just go through your slides and then get a transcript and then, highlight them, delete them. It will probably expose a lot of maybe language that's not super precise. Okay. And then you want to make it more precise. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Right. And one of the places to get really good at that is watch TED Talks, because they're supposed to be less than 18 minutes and it's one topic.
Right.
And it's brilliantly done. They are brilliant examples of story, fact, backup.
Right.
Boom.
So that's all about your pitch. I hope you liked it.
Well done. Great job with the pitch. And I love this. Download this. This is a really good deal. Capital raising is good stuff. Also, get that going. You're good. Thanks again to Steve Edelson, who won this week from Danilo, Florida. That's good. We covered a lot today. Next week, we're going to be talking about GMP labeling requirements.
That's my favorite.
Mine too. GMP labeling requirements. It's good. Thank you for being here. We really appreciate you. And the favorite part of this is answering your questions. So make sure that you keep our team on their toes with the chat. Yeah. Keep on talking to us. We'll stay as long as you're here. Set up other CBD Jam sessions. Those are just nothing there. We're just answering your questions. We're here for you. Subscribe to our podcasts. And we're also on Amazon Music now with our podcasts, iTunes, Google, or whatever platform of choice you have. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Check out our calculator library. And join all of our conversations on social media or your favorite social media.
By the way, I have to say our interactive calculator for our pro forma, it's just blowing up. We are getting all kinds of people on that. So if you go ahead and sign up for that calculator, use it. We'll probably be adding some more bells and whistles to it, but it'll give you what you need to get started.
It's on fire right now. You guys are on fire. Thank you for your questions. I've seen a few come up. These are awesome. I appreciate you, and we're good. We'll see you next time. Thank you.
See you later.
Good job.